Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Shared Space family. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. If you're a reviewer, thanks for checking in and seeing what's going on in Baltimore and the DMV and in our community. So, Laquita Chansey, founder of SmaltimoreHomes.org, will not be with us tonight. She's got a quarterly board meeting, but she's constantly busy in the community. Y'all know she showed up to. We had a Breadcoin event this weekend, sharing some information about breadcoin.org. It is a resource we use to feed communities and really offer food, food access to people who may be having difficulties with that, whether it's through like experiencing homelessness or hunger or addiction or any of those things where people are having a hard time getting prepared food. Maybe they don't have a place to prepare food. Breadcoin serves those communities while supporting nonprofits. We love the bread. We love Breadcoin. So there's an event this weekend at Lexington Market. We did. We're gearing up this next month. A couple of things going on. There's if you guys check my IG, Be More Chap 78. There's some school board meetings that we need to show up for, make some noise, because they're not doing great in Baltimore. Had an opportunity. One of our sisters, Blanca Tapawasco, is going to be talking on a national news platform tomorrow about Baltimore education. So, guys, please show up to the meetings. Support Ashley Esposito while she's representing us and trying to do better in Baltimore. Um, that said, let me see. July is a big month for summer. We've got tentatively historic Pennsylvania Avenue Parade coming up. We may postpone that till later in August. And July 22nd, the big event in Baltimore City. If you guys don't know, July 22nd, the Agogi Project is partnering with Mac Lewis. These are two boxing gyms in Baltimore that serve the youth. And we're having Baltimore's first free to the community, fight for the community outdoor boxing event. So, we're going to see some of our kids exhibiting the things they're learning in the gyms. We'll have some other exhibitions for some mixed martial arts training some of our kids are doing. But these will be USA boxing sanctioned fights, so the kids will be earning credits towards their records as their amateur fighters. And then we'll also have a big community festival, health and wellness area. We'll have a kids zone with level up, mentorship, and unlimited potential. We'll be pitching in on that. YMCA will be pitching in, bringing in some like bounce houses and water slides and stuff for the kids. We'll have food trucks and Breadcoin again catering some of that, bringing some food to the event. So I got DJ 5 Star locked in, y'all. That's my dude. We're just trying to make sure that we can compensate him well for his skill set. So there's a couple more things to iron out, but it should be a great event in July down at Father Hooper Fields at Herring Run Park. Chesterfield and Hillin Road on July 22nd, 1 to 8. But we'll keep making announcements about that as we come up. And without further ado, one more thing, guys, Sundays at Lake Montebello. Church ain't for everybody. I'm saved. I love Jesus, but church ain't for everybody. I understand that. So if y'all want to come, just fellowship, have some good community fellowship. We do a community walk with Laquita Chansey. Smaltimore Homes over at it's Walk with a Doc over at Lake Montebello. Sunday, 9:30, 10ish. We get started. So come join us for some nature, some good fellowship, some good networking, and just a healthy walk around the lake. So all the announcements out the way, I think, and if I remember any, we'll get them out later. But I'm really excited to introduce you guys to an actress I met. Maybe we'll talk briefly on the project we got. Audition to do. It sounded pretty fun. So actress OC Flo, who is currently in DC, but I got some questions for her. So you want to introduce yourself, OC?
Hello, everyone. Happy Marvelous Monday. This is OC Flo, don't you know? Now, Chap know me in one arena in my life, okay? Because like I was telling him, I'm a woman that wears many hats. I am not just an actress, baby. Let me get my list. I'm an entrepreneur, an actress, a host, a teacher, a podcaster, an orator, healer, and I'm every woman, and I'm phenomenal at everything I do.
I like that. The card is like a business card's like this big. You guys should see it.
And guess what? I keep adding. Keep adding.
So I didn't do enough stalking this morning for your IG, but did I see you're from ATL? Is that where you're coming from, or you in DC?
Um,
I saw some hints of Georgia,
okay,
so
okay, I can explain that. So,
okay.
now my nickname is Peaches. All right. So, the peaches are sweet in Georgia. However, I am a Washingtonian born and raised, and I now reside in Maryland.
Let's
So,
be
what you
clear. All right.
yes, let me be clear. I'm a Washingtonian all day, baby. Chocolate, the original chocolate city. I was born during the Marion Barry era. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
an '80s baby.
that's well. That's funny. It's funny because I tell people that all the time. I'm like, DC used to be Chocolate City back when I was a kid, but I think we got it. I think Baltimore's got it right now.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Yeah,
So,
we can talk about that.
so Atlanta, I am actually a part of a touring stage play called Chosen. And we've done Delaware, we did Baltimore last year at the Chesapeake Performing Arts Center. We did New York, we did Washington D.C., we did New York, Washington D.C., Baltimore, and Delaware. We're about to go to Atlanta June 24th at the Clayton Performing Arts Center. They will be in Philly August 26th, and then we'll be in Cleveland September 16th. So that's what you saw about the
Okay.
ATL
All right.
on my IG page.
And let me ask you, so if people want more information on that, what's your can we share your IG on here?
Oh, absolutely. It's OC Flowers. It's me with green hair in my side profile. You can go there, and I have the link in my bio to purchase tickets. It's June 24th at 3:30 p.m. at the Clayton Performing Arts Center. So I'm super excited. We are touring. I believe we have some more cities like Dallas coming up as well. I've been, so interestingly enough, I joined the cast as an understudy last year. And then I hosted the show in Baltimore, and then I became a co-star in the play.
Congratulations. So
Thank you. I moved
before
up
we,
the ranks.
I was gonna say before we even well, I'll tell real quick. So we got approached to do a project. This is how I met OC,
Yes.
which was a very unique project. I liked the vibe, man. The guy explained that there was a gentleman who's doing a 50th birthday party, and he had a budget where he could hire some actors to be out front of his birthday party at the entrance and create a red carpet experience for guests coming to his birthday. And I thought that was pretty dope. And I thought that, listen to me, look, see,
I'm ready.
and
I'm
I
ready.
feel like did you, well, I feel like that's something like that's not a one time thing. Like that could be a service that we offer in the DMV. Like, oh, you doing a birthday party? We can
Absolutely.
make it super fly. Like, so this is
Chad,
my
I like the way you think.
from Baltimore, baby. Like, just like DC, you got like 20 side hustles. You gotta keep it moving because nobody likes working 9 to 5 for nobody, man.
And you know
Uh,
what? I did that for 15 years. I used to work for the federal government for 15 years. So I know
Congratulations.
about that life, and I'm not going back. So that's why I'm doing everything I can, and taking advantage of every opportunity, like Grass Life DC.
So what is Grass Life? What is Grass Life DC?
So let's talk about Grass Life. So my husband and I, along with another business partner, we opened an I-71 gifting shop in Washington, D.C., or in other words, a dispensary. We are located at 1215 Connecticut Avenue, right near in DuPont Circle in the business district on the fourth floor in Washington, D.C. We're right next to Rose Bar. Because I always, that's the sale right there. I tell people, hey, you know what Rose Bar? Everyone knows what Rose Bar is. It's a very popular club, nightlife. Is the Mayflower Rose Bar. What's across? I got Chick-fil-A right there, a Shake Shack. I'm not trying to, give out no free advertising, but we're right there in that business district. Yes, that's 1215 Connecticut Avenue. So in DC, we gift. So you come in and you purchase CBD. CBD is legal in all the states. And then we gift you the THC. So we follow the I-71 initiative.
So I-71. So I'm not familiar with that. I'm thinking that's like a highway or something. I'm just a little. So it's funny too because one of our guys on the network on Sundays, Councilman, I don't want to. I think it's Councilman Martin Mitchell for Laurel. He was a huge advocate for getting marijuana legal in Maryland.
Yes.
So I was trying to get him on here to talk about it because he knows those legislation numbers and policy because he helped create all that to make it safe and make it legal for our people. So what does the I-71 mean? What's that mean?
No, it's just Initiative 71. That's the name of the the governing rule that allows us to sell CBD and gift THC. So that's what it is in Washington, D.C. Unlike what just happened historically in Maryland, where, it has become legal to sell cannabis, marijuana, ganja.
Recreationally, right?
Right in DC, it's not quite
Gotcha.
legal. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you
Yeah,
purchase CBD and we gift you
but the
of
CBD
equal
is good for you. I
value.
like that. Actually like that better.
You do?
I mean, just because no, I like that because if the TH if the marijuana is available, I don't know, what we call it these days or what's politically correct, but like if the pot's available, then I'm not necessarily going to buy the CBD, but the CBD has different health benefits, right?
Absolutely.
So like that's why I like that
Yes.
because people are getting the health benefits from both. Where if
Mhm.
it was like THC, you might just go and buy your smoke and you won't really take care of your body with the other products. So I like that. That's why I like that.
Yeah, so I always tell people one of the major differences between THC and CBD is the THC does have that hallucinogenic effect, or getting high, as some people has known it to be, and some people really enjoy. The CBD is more medicinal, where you do not have that hallucinogenic, excuse me, effect. And it's CBD is treated for seizures, it's treated for hypertension, it's treated for pain and pain management. I just saw recently on the news they was talking about a lot of our elderly community has really indulged in access to CBD and THC because it's helping them get off of a lot of their prescription medication,
Heck yeah.
which can be in the dosages, as anything is, right? It can be very harming, especially to the liver, and some other internal organs. So, we just opened September 3rd of last year. So we haven't even been open for 1 year. Thank you so much. And we are Grass Life DC. One of the unique things, I love to say this about our store, is that, we kind of follow the hours of the nightlife. So that means on the weekends, we're open till 4 a.m.
Wow.
And on
Very cool.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're open until 3. And all the other days, we're open until 8.
So I can call your store when I'm up because I'm up. I'm up till three
Come
or four in
on,
the morning, not doing nothing. Right?
Chap, come on down. Just
I ain't
come
got gas
on
money for
down.
all that. Shoot, I need.
What you mean? Well, you know what? So actually, what you can do now, we talking about business ideas. You
Hmm.
can get a little caravan going,
There you
okay?
go.
You can sponsor
Caravan
a
allowance.
bus,
There you go.
get a bus, charge people, and bring them on down to 1215 Connecticut Avenue, where the
There you
nightlife
go.
is.
Okay. Okay. I'm about to check it out first because I don't want to take nobody in cold, man.
Oh, bring them. It's where the grass is always
So
greener.
as an actor, I have a question for you. Like,
Okay.
because I've only done background and film and TV. I never really. So here's my narrative is that I didn't necessarily aspire to be an actor. Like, I'm well known in my community. I'm 45 years Baltimore.
Okay.
Um, I do a lot of community advocacy in the second half of my life so far, the second season. Officially for the last 5 years as a chaplain for the community with the authority of the police department. So I'm able to like reconcile some relationships and use that authority to get some certain things done. Um, it's all volunteer, but where am I going with this? Oh, so like somebody we're filming Wheel in the City, right? And somebody called and was like, they were like they needed some token white boys for some scenes in the hood, and so like the guys on set were like, "Yo, call Chap, that's our token white boy, right?" So Val Jenkins with Hug Don't Shoot, she's like, "Chap, you want to be in a movie?" And Hug Don't Shoot's another nonprofit, and we'll talk about your nonprofit as well. For anti-gun violence, and so that's one of my sisters in the community. So she's like, "Hey, you want to be in a movie?" And I'm like, "Of course!" Like what?
Hmm.
And so we're on set and stuff, and I loved it. Like it felt right. Like 45 years old, I'm still like don't know what I do with my life. I've been everything from I used to have an entrepreneur. I used to have a laser tag business. I used to cut grass. I used to be a nuclear mechanical engineer on submarines. I used to do everything in between, make pizzas, build houses, like you name it, I've done it. But I never like knew what I wanted to do when I grew up. Right when I got on set that first day, I was just like it just felt like at peace. I was like, this is it. This is where I'm supposed to be. Right. And
Yeah.
so, not really being a traditional actor, not really having aspirations or understanding the process to become one, I just do what I do. But now that I figured out like that this is what I want to do, I started figuring it out with, hustling up acting jobs and
Yes.
just learning on set and learning from other people on set what to do and what it looks like to be a professional and everything, and learning the trade as I go. And to the point where I've gotten a couple speaking roles, and it's like, I want to do this, right? So, but what I also recognize and appreciate is that like all my work has been on film or camera, so it's like you get takes, right? So, what is the difference for you? What's your experience between being on stage and being like? What's the difference? Like, I know there's a difference, and I don't really want no part of the theater stuff because it seems like very disciplined and hard. I like the easy life. I like the multiple takes and like
Oh,
the
that's
set
what
life.
this is about. Well, that's one of the major differences. I say there are no take see backsies on stage. It's
Right.
live. If you forget, you forget. It's lights, camera, action. It is boom right there in your face. And honestly, for me, it's kind of an adrenaline rush that comes with that. Um, I'm from the theater.
Okay.
I grew up Washington, D.C. Performing arts was my thing. I sang from when I was 7 years old, growing up in church, sang in gospel choirs. And so what actually ended up happening to me is after college, I moved back to DC. I went to school in New Jersey where I met my now husband, then boyfriend. Okay. So we've been together since I was 19 years old. And when I came back, my grandmother was ill. My mom took her in, and just in helping and just being, the woman that I am and the helpmate that I am, I decided to enter into the workforce, and I became a Fed in the government. We call them Feds. I became a Fed in the government, and I climbed the corporate ladder. I was in procurement. I was a contracts manager. And one thing I tell people is that I still use my skills from the stage in that position because I facilitated trainings. I was a manager. I had employees. So I was always in that leadership position and role. I always jumped at the opportunity to do presentations or to put together PowerPoints or go and train and talk to people. So I still was using my public speaking skills because I know that's one of my strong suits. So I still was getting a taste of it. However, by climbing the corporate ladder is more responsibility, and then we used to have to start caring for people. That becomes very consuming. So honestly, what happened to me was COVID. For a lot of people, COVID was the thing that was the wrench. Once COVID came, I got the opportunity to step back and be quiet. And it was in my silence. I was like, I'm not happy. I don't want to continue doing this. And fortunate for me, you know, I was able to walk away from government and pursue my dreams and my passion, which was acting. And I actually started a podcast during COVID called Hustle and Show. And I did one full season. I started a second season, then my acting career took off. But I interviewed pioneers, trailblazers of different industries. So it was teachers, actors, my personal trainers, people across all spectrums and boards because I love to talk, right? So it was through the podcasting. And then I became a part of an executive team for a play. And it was actually Kristen Michelle Young. Shout out to Kristen. She's a Baltimorean as well. And she is a major big deal. Okay. She was the director. And I showed up to the auditions just to do content because I love social media and stuff. So I showed up to auditions just to do content. And she saw me and she asked me, she said, "Hey, you have a background in acting?" I was like, "I do." She was like, "I want you to read for this part." I read for the role, got the role, and I've been acting ever since nonstop. I have been in productions ever since nonstop. So thank you publicly again. I always have to thank Kristen. I'm one of those type of people, I call it ARA because I'm a teacher as well. Acknowledgement, recognition, and acceptance. Those are the three things we as humans, we need, we crave, whether we want to admit it or not. We want acceptance for who we are. We want acknowledgement for what we are and recognition for what we do. So I always, whenever I get a platform, would like to publicly thank people that gave me an opportunity that did not have to. So if it wasn't for Kristen, I probably more than likely wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today because Kristen led to another play, and that play led to Akiva McLean. And I did his web series, and then I did his Christmas play. And that's how we met. We met through Akiva doing an audition for the 50th birthday party. So I'm very fortunate. And oh, I have to plug this. And I hosted a TED Talk. I hosted TED Talk Federal Hill. Yes, that was
Good job.
major.
Good job. I'm working. That's like one of my. That's on my like goals.
It's on your vision board.
Yes.
So chat. So let me tell you what. So with that, being a speaker on a TEDx was the goal. However, I was asked to host, and when I was first asked to host, I was like, "Hey, you know, it kind of feel it." The ask was like, "Damn, like I want to speak." But guess what? There were 21 speakers. The 21 speakers got 11 minutes. Guess what? I got 3 minutes between each speaker. I got a total of an hour of talking time. So in essence, in a large scale, I actually got more time than I ever dreamed of.
There you go.
So, you know, so that's what life is about. You know, I credit my boldness, my courage to step away from the government and just pursue my dreams. And the path has just been unfolding, and it continues to unfold, and it leads me to these great opportunities to promote my brand, my business, myself, the plays, and I'm actually writing something right now too. So I'm getting behind the camera. Yeah. So you know, I'm living my dreams.
I love it. I love it.
Living my dreams, guys.
And I like hearing people's story, how they got into it, because everybody's got a different story. And so when I'm on set, I'm always encouraged, like, it's always fun to see like the kids who like are there because they want to be actors, and they've like trained they've done theater in high school, and they've done all these things, and it's like they're on set and it's their first day on set as background, and they're like nervous and they're looking around, you know, they got that look, right? And it's like
the anticipation,
right? But they've got that energy, like, you know, they're like, I know they're serious, and to me it's like it makes me smile, and it makes me so like, it just brings me joy to see them, because like I'm here. You know, I'm here not by accident, because I'm where I'm supposed to be all the time, because God is good. But it's like I fell into this because of like relational equity and because of my hustle, and I love it, and I'll continue to do it. But to see the kids who like have worked so hard just to get to the background point, and they're there now, and it's like, now what do we do? And it's so fun to like just, you know, kind of get over to them and
nurture
like,
and foster.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, I couldn't think of the word, but yeah, like just bring them along and say, look, it's okay, no anxiety. It's chill. This is what we do. It's what you do, and yeah, it's so great.
So one of the things that I do, I have two daughters. I have a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old, and they are dancers. I've had them dancing or in some type of sport, whether it was gymnastics, taekwondo, whatever, since they were 18 months. So from 18 months, they have been in something. They're 14 and 11.
Good job,
my 14-year-old, she likes to be behind the camera, so she wants to get into film and production. Now, my 11-year-old, she is the superstar, and she is kind of following in my footsteps. And one of the things that I do is every since I got that opportunity to be a part of that first play, I bring them along as stage handlers, and they work background and they help. And so that's important to me, because you have to be of service. And I tell people this all the time. In order to be a great leader, you must learn how to serve. And
that's the qualifier. Let me stop you right there. Let's not glaze over that. The qualifier to lead is service. Yeah, absolutely, man.
My mom was a waitress for 45 years, chap. 45 years. And it was by choice. And I was like, Mom, why do you keep? She said, because I love what I do. And I'm really good at it, Olivia. That she found her place to serve, but just watching that and witnessing that growing up, you know, I tell people, learn every part of your business. Know how to sweep and mop the floors, clean your toilets, work the cash register. You have to learn all of it. So I bring my kids along with me, and they travel with me. And so as a result, they've gotten opportunities. My daughter became the stage manager for a production at her school. My youngest daughter just auditioned last week for her first short film, and she got the role. She's about to get IMBD credit. Before me, she's got it before. But you know, and she also dances for the Washington Wizards right now and the Mystics. So I have my kids in it. I bring them with me. I expose them because I want them to see what it takes.
Yeah, you know what? That's really important. as we're raising our kids. So I can tell you're like you say you're a teacher, but we're not talking about like sitting in a classroom teacher. You're a life teacher. Because I do that with my sons. Like if I'm out, I do a lot of community work, right? So if I'm out handing out produce boxes, my sons come with me. If we're doing a neighborhood cleanup, my sons come with me. Like all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. No matter what I'm doing, sometimes I give them a break because I do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they don't have a choice, and what happens is it cultivates in them these habits where, like for instance, like as a chaplain, like one of my officers was having a hard time, so we went over his house one night. We fed the dog. We cleaned up a little bit around the house, and my son just started doing dishes for him, and I'm like, you want to do that? He's like, no, I want to do his dishes while we're here. He's like, because I know how good it makes you feel when you come home and already did the dishes, and I'm like, my man, like, yes, and he's 16, right? I'm going on 17 Wednesday, so but like those little lessons are important, and what better way to like for instance, my son, the youngest one, he's been through a lot of trauma. I didn't have him for first, like I had him as a toddler, and I didn't see him for like 10 years, and I've gotten custody back recently, and I've gotten him in the boxing gym.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And he didn't. Nobody really knew he's an athlete, but I've started like there's a gym. We have a boxing gym, a youth wellness program we do in East Baltimore called the Agogi Project.
Hmm.
It's a free program to the kids. They come, they do first hour of training. They're learning Spanish. Then they do jujitsu for like an hour and a half. Then they do boxing an hour and a half, and you got to train 3 out of 5 days a week, if not 5 days a week. And it's this whole program we do. And I started bringing my son along with me, even though I didn't make him do the program or sign him up because that's where I was spending my time. And now he's in the gym. He's um, within 3 months, he put on his headgear and he had his boxing gloves when he trained enough and got in the boxing ring. And here's a kid who nobody even knew was an athlete,
Right.
and he's a straight killer, man. He's killing him on the mat. He's like, and for me, like one day I asked him, right? We just have these little conversations because we have a long drive to school because Baltimore City schools suck, and like they make me drive an hour to take my son to school. Makes sense, right? We
Oh,
used to
I do
walk.
the same thing. I
Yeah, we used
drive
to walk
further.
to school because we went to the school near our house. They don't do that no more.
No.
So one of the days I was like, son, if you were, if your life right now, this moment, this perpetual moment we live in was a movie, like like who would be the hero? Who's that protagonist in your story? And like he sucker punched me, yo. He's like you, because I assumed he was going to say himself, because like I'm the star in my movie. He
Gotcha.
said you, dad, and I was like, oh damn. And so I was like, that caught me off guard, but I,
Tearjerker moment.
right. But I was able to reflect on him and say, well, son, like I'm watching your movie, and you are the underdog. You're the hero. I said, look at how far you've come from like you couldn't look people in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
You always had your hat low or your hoodie down over your eyes, but now you're like staring people down in the ring. And he's like, yeah, dad, but you're really tough. You go in these, you go in these neighborhoods because I do. I go in places in Baltimore where no like I'm a chaplain for like a bunch of different districts, and when they get a new major, they're like, how come I've never seen you before? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm in the places y'all don't want to look.
Ooh.
So we go to some tough places. And my son's like, well, dad, you're so tough. I said, yeah, but guess what? I've never stepped in the ring to fight nobody on purpose. I was like, that's brave.
By choice,
You my
right?
hero for that. I said, I don't think anybody in the family's ever done that. And like we've trained and we've fought, but like no one's actually officially stepped inside the ring
Yeah.
to dish it out. And I'm like, so like you're the first, man. And he was encouraged by that.
No. Well, my baby Clark. Callie. I have Clark and Callie. My baby Callie. Similar discipline. So that's what I wrote down. I'm
Mhm.
over here taking notes too, okay? Because I'm hearing some things because I like to share information. And I heard about the free boxing in Baltimore,
Mhm.
but I wrote down discipline. And so my dad was former military, and he was a correctional officer here in DC. He was from Chicago, born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, and grew up in Chicago, Illinois. So discipline, right, is what I hear. And my baby girl, when she was 3, after watching the Karate Kid movie, she was like, I want to do that.
The original.
No, no, not Daniel's son and Mr. Miyagi. She watched Jaded.
Okay, that's okay.
It's okay. Right.
That's theirs.
Okay. Whatever it takes, right? But
Right.
she's 3 and she watched it and she was like, Mommy, I want to do it. And of course, I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah, baby. So ironically enough, my oldest daughter at the time, because they're 3 years apart, she was pursuing dance, and she was invited to be a part of this company. So it was a taekwondo studio right next to the dance studio. So I would take my daughter to practice, and me being, I love to work out. I'm a woman of movement. So I was outside riding my bike. I would have her little bike. I would jump rope. I would just be athletic because I was heavier at the time. So she ran up to the door and she was like, Mommy. And I was like, come on, Callie, come back. So she did that the first day. The second day, she ran inside because Master Paul, that's the sensei there, he opened the door to let the kids out and she darted inside. And I'm like, Callie, come back. So he was like, hello, how are you? It's like, good. He was like, oh, she's cute. I was like, yeah, she's 3. So she said, I want to do this. 3. So he said, well, how old are you? He said, I'm 3. And so I told him, I said, well, she does dance by herself next door. And she started at 2.5. She just, bye, mommy. And she'll go dance class. Don't need me. I said, give her a chance. Don't, I said, give my baby a chance.
Well, yeah, because like I'm gonna say, running the gym, I'll tell you, like for boxing, it's usually 10 and up. For like taekwondo and stuff, for martial arts, it's a little bit lower. But like you get below the ages of 8, and you get around 6, it's like a gamble whether or
Yeah.
not one the kid's going to have the capacity or focus. But
Yep.
go ahead, tell your story.
No,
But
so
understand that you got to negotiate at 3. I'm letting y'all
you,
know.
oh, this is not an easy thing because Master Paul is like, yeah, no, I take them at 4. I said, hey, I
Hmm.
said,
And
let
4's
me
early.
bring her, let me bring her to a class. And he was like, okay, can you come tomorrow? I said, sure. So I explained to her what was happening. She went. She went for her hour. And at the end of the hour, he walked over to me with an application. And he said, here you go. Classes are on Mondays and Wednesdays, and the gi is $99. She was 3. At 6 years old, she became the youngest to get her black belt, first degree, first dan black belt in the studio. So don't count these babies out. And as a parent, advocate for your child. I had no idea, chat, that this was gonna happen. But
Right.
she started sparring at 4, and she was 4. He had her sparring big people. I was just like, Master, I would sit there and cry. I would have to leave. But he said, no, I'm making her tough. I'm making her tough.
Yeah.
And so my daughter is a fighter. She is everything she said she's going to do. And she's 11 now. Everything she said she was going to do, she has done. I
Mm.
look up to both of my children so much, and they make me so proud.
How about that? Look, I'm gonna share something with you. Gonna blow your mind. I got a 19-year-old son. My son Charlie.
Mhm.
Uh, he wasn't sure what he wanted to do when he got out of high school. He knew he didn't want to. He knew he wasn't ready for college. He needed a break. He had a very traumatic childhood. So like we got him through his senior year, and I was like, take the time you need. He tried. He didn't want to do. So I helped him start a landscaping business.
Mhm.
He got overwhelmed and frustrated. He did the work. He does it well, but like he didn't like all the he liked to do the work, not all the other stuff, right?
Mhm.
So then
Mm.
he got frustrated. He said, Dad, I don't think I want to do this next year. I said, okay, well, let's figure out a job. He got a job. He's a pizza chef at the corner store. He's like hood famous now. He makes everybody's pizza.
What piece of place is this?
A Giovanna's Italian Kitchen in Northeast Baltimore. Um, they got the best tiramisu. My wife's been to Italy, and their tiramisu is the best. Like if you like,
Okay.
yeah. They're also part of the Breadcoin network we talked about earlier. But to say that he's 19 years old, he works at a pizza shop, so he's not like making like $50 an hour or nothing.
Mhm.
But this 19 years old, he has a Roth IRA. I don't even know what that is. I'm 45, but my son's got one, and he showed me the math. He said, Dad, if I keep doing this, he said, by the time I'm like 33, this account, this one thing I did,
Mhm.
this one accounting thing I did will be $1 million. And
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, bro. Like, do it. Like, you know what I mean? But like,
Keep
I'm so
going.
proud of him, right? Like, I have no idea how to do that. But if you drop me off with no money and no shoes and
Oh, you
like,
can survive.
right, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. But this kid, man, he's like he gets it, and I'm so like he drives me nuts. But I'm so proud of him because like
Yeah.
he's focused on him, and I need him to be at 19, right? So he's yeah,
Better than a lot of other things,
right,
okay,
right.
that's going on right outside you, and you both are outdoors and windows. But one thing that I get the opportunity to do is inspire, or I try to inspire, and I teach workforce. I like to call it life force readiness
Mhm.
for DC government. Mayor Bowser has a program called the DC Infrastructure Academy, and they pay Listen up. Okay, everybody come close. If you are a DC resident, there's no income requirement. You can learn solar panel installation. You can learn electrical work. You can work for Metro. You can work for Pepco, Washington Gas, or you can get your CDL, and DC will pay for you to do this. It's called DC Infrastructure Academy. There's no program like this in the nation.
Wow.
And it's 18 through whatever. You just have to be a DC resident. How much? Free.
$3.99.
It's free 99. They pay you DC minimum wage, which I believe, now don't quote me, I think it's 16.10. Okay. So they're paying you to learn this trade. And it's a direct pipeline, direct to employment. They do job fairs.
What's it called again?
It's called DCIA. You can put DCIA. If you Google DCIA, it's the DC Infrastructure Academy. Y'all, it is an amazing program. And I have the fortunate pleasure of teaching workforce readiness, because it does not matter which trade you choose. You have to do 2 weeks of job preparedness, where we talk resumes, interview techniques. How do you use your skills? The art of conversation. And I love doing it. I just did my 8th class, and I've done it across all the trades, but I have that pleasure of then planting these seeds, especially in my young adults, especially in the people my age, especially my elderly that already did the job force. They did the workforce. And it's like, you know what? I want to get my CDL, but I have the fortune. I got somebody for you too. If you're interested, I have somebody to plug you with the Quarter Ticket Club, my man Nathan and Jovan. They have a whole mentor program. Like when I tell you, y'all, come, let me tell you, chat. Let me just tell you in the audience, to the listeners, I am the plug, okay?
That's why you're here.
I am the ultimate plug. Whatever you want to do, I can probably point you in the direction, or get you some good, I can point you in the direction, or send you to someone that will help you achieve your dreams and your goals. But the only thing I ask is that you be intentional and be committed to whatever the journey is, because that's what I cannot guarantee. Okay.
You speak my language, man. And I think that's why we resonated when I just like even over like we haven't met in person, but
yeah.
I'll share with you like and you know, Quita, I'm the co-host. Quita will definitely share the story with you. Like I think it was a whole 30 seconds after we met, we knew we was family. Like it was like that was a sister I never had, right? It was just instant. Like I describe it to people like now, first and foremost, like I love my wife, and everybody knows my wife, man. I've known her 30 plus years. That's my ride or die. Back in the day, that was my getaway driver. Like you ain't nothing.
So you're quiet.
So yeah, so let me say, like everybody knows nothing coming between us, and there's that definite respect and love there. That if you don't show my wife, like I don't got time to mess with you. Like, but like when I met Quita, you know, it was just, and it's interesting, right? It was just this, I knew I had a sister right there, right? And it was just a spirit, recognized spirit. Mm-hmm. And I describe it like there's certain people I meet where God just kind of downloads a lifetime of love in a moment for that person. And it's to the point where like now it's so refined and it's so, I've experienced so often that when people come talk to me, like, I don't need you to tell me whether or not, I wouldn't mess with him. Like, no, I know, because like my spirit isn't like, they not family. I can tell right away. Not family. Like I don't really got time for you because I take care of family.
So how about this? I'm about to take this. You ready for this? So we're on a vibrational level where the only people and the things we do attract are like-minded. Mm-hmm. So I have very little tolerance for mediocrity. And I tell people, once you get rid of expectations and you set standards for your life, you will only attract those things. You will only attract them. You will only.
I'll testify to that because, like, I met you, and like anybody in B-More, look, you ask about me, and I bet they know me. My name's Good in any hood. Like,
I'm gonna test this, guys. He got to bring me back so he can.
I'll tell you what. Check this out. Even in DC, if you go down, what's the most blackety black spot in DC? I don't know.
Now?
PD Green Rec Center? No. How about MLK and Martin Luther King? Go down to Rec Center. Go to Rec Center. Ask them if they know about Chap from B-More.
Chap Loveless. I'm off.
Yep.
Guys, I will be returning, okay?
Hmm.
So I can let you know about
Hmm. Or
this scientific project I'm gonna do.
go ask about me in Ivy City. What you know about Ivy City?
Ivy City, DC.
Historically blackity black. Yup.
So
That's my joint.
I have a colleague that has a business. See, he had a store in Ivy City. I know a couple of people in the
It's getting
Ivy.
a little gentrified, but
They
I
got a
used
mom's organic market over there now.
oh gosh. Yeah. I ain't been there in a while.
You gotta come. Well, look, you have to come down. So look, why don't we do? I'm gonna do this live on air because I'm all about putting people on the spot because I like to hold people
Let's
accountable.
go. Yeah.
So Chop is gonna come down. He's gonna come down the grass. We're gonna show him with how the grass is greener. We're gonna show. We might go around some spots. Maybe we can get somebody to do some camera work, and we can just get reacclimated with the chocolate
There we go.
uh, city. I was going to use another word, well, because I like to still say it's chocolate city. But how about that? How
It
about we
is.
set something up where you come down and we just hang out, we talk, we go to some historic spaces. You see what I'm doing, right?
I'm down. Yeah, let's go.
Y'all see what I'm doing? So,
I'm for it, bro. It's all love. Yep.
oh my God, Chop, I'm having so much fun. Um, this is so crazy how it's not crazy. It's I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in
No, it's
irony. I
providence.
believe
Providence.
everything happens in divine order, and
Amen.
it was almost inevitable for us to share space, right?
Fact. Hey, that's the name of the show, Shared Space. I see you. Yep. So look, we got about 14 minutes, so before 13 minutes. So
Went by so fast.
I know, and that's what I was telling you before we started. Is sometimes like we go off air and we could talk for another 2 hours, y'all, but we got to get Robert on at 8. So I wanted to dive in a little bit on you are the director of development for an autism awareness, and I wanted to make sure we mentioned that.
Yes. So hi, Derek. So Derek Darrell Dixon, which is whose name also ring bells in Baltimore. He's the founder of the 3D Foundation, and the cause is autism. His oldest son, he adopted 3 children, and his oldest son is on the spectrum. He adopted him when he was 5, and he's now 21 years old. Derek is actually right now in Cabo, Mexico, on an all expense paid trip because he was voted and made Life Changer of the Year 2023 because of his work and his advocacy, because he's also a teacher in Beckford Elementary School. So he's the founder, and he asked me to come on board to be the director of development. And we have a fashion show. It's called Stop the Runway
Right.
for Autism. That's coming up October 21st at the Baltimore War Memorial Museum. We are looking for vendors. We are looking for designers, models, and a choreographer. We go model chat?
I mean, I model for me too, but I know everybody that does that. So like, so my girl, Miss Kim, I got 2 Miss Kims for you that do the fashion shows. You ever heard of you know a lady named Monique, known as Monique?
Is that her name, known as Monique or
Well,
Monique?
if you Google known as Monique, and here's her story, is that she
Let me
was the
go.
oldest living Jane Doe in the world. Lives in
What?
Baltimore. Yep, she was kidnapped at 1 years old, abducted at 1 years old from New York. Was raised in Baltimore, but never knew her origins until recently. And so she's always been known as Monique. But now we know after 50, 60 years of searching that her name was Cymbeline Ruff, and she's got a whole story. But she doesn't. She's into fashion. She did like 10 fashion shows this year. She's been to Texas, Baltimore, Miami, everywhere. Right. We got models. We got whatever you need. We got community vendors. We got health and wellness. Like this is what I do. That's what
Wait,
I
sis,
do.
can you put down my you can do, you know what, let me email it to, I can text it to you. If you can put this email address for people, if they're interested, it's Stomp the Runway for Autism at Gmail, but I'm about to email it. I'm sending it to chat now, everyone. They can email that email address and put their interests, because we have interest forms for the different areas. We have one for designers, for models, and for vendors.
So I tell you what,
And we're looking for
we'll talk off camera. We'll talk off camera, but no, we got a couple events coming up where you guys can come up and set up a table and start recruiting in Baltimore a couple months ahead. Yep.
So we have a model call July 15th at the Palladium.
Palladium. Hmm.
You know the Palladium.
Hmm.
So we have a model call there. I am so excited. I'm so interested. Thank you so much for just being here. Thank you so much for being willing. We are also putting on workshops to bring awareness, because one of the things that when Derek shares his story, he says, when he was learning about autism, because he didn't know anything about it, he realized there were not a lot of resources, especially for single parents.
Mm-mm.
And so what he'd like to do is provide those resources as far as help, as far as counseling, as far as simple things as shopping, places, that restaurants that cater to that community, things of that nature, or
That's huge.
event spaces, or places where, because it's about sensory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually thinking about different outlets in different places in which we can have events to show parents, like, you don't have to not bring your child to a bouncy spot. We're going to see if we can dedicate an hour where we can utilize some of the skill sets and make it safe and make it
So
fun.
now you got my wheels turning for my events. I probably need to speak to you guys about intentionally creating a space for the kids that isn't overwhelming.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like, but I'll definitely consult you guys off, before the event, and we'll get something together just for that, because that's very significant.
Yes, especially outings in restaurants, because one of the things Derek said is that when he first took
Yeah,
his son,
restaurants are hard because there's the eating thing, there's everything. The whole
it's
experience is
everything.
overwhelming,
The
and
sounds,
right,
the people. When
man,
he first took his son to the movie theater, he talks about that. He shares that story about he didn't know what to do, because he thought as a kid, what kid doesn't want to go to the movie theater? But it
hmm
took repetition. It took
mm-hmm.
it took a lot for him to really get it. And he realized, he always says this. He was like, it's not about my world, it's about their world,
Mm-hmm.
and me understanding more of their world. So
Mm-hmm.
when we shifted the perspective of really putting yourself in someone else's shoes, there was freedom.
And you know what? We need to educate. We need to educate our generation of parents right now on that, because I feel like a lot of the focus was on, as if I'm a parent from the generation now with kids in school, or with children, younger children, I seem to come across a lot of people who are doing what's convenient for them,
Mm.
and it's really, really damaging. I'll tell you that I have two fourth grade students in my gym right now that we're teaching to read because their parents, it's not convenient for their parents to do the work or get a tutor. If you can't afford one, that's fine. The way I operate in the city, money is never an obstacle. I got people that'll do that, right? So someone's coming in tutoring the kids. Come to find out, one of the kids, he doesn't have to go to school on Friday because it's not convenient for his mom. She wants Friday off from that. If it's raining, she don't feel like getting up, so the kids don't have to go to school, so they don't get a cold. Like one of my kids missed, and he's in grade school, like fifth grade, missed 55 days this year. We just found out, and this thing is, we do follow up with their teachers, we do check-ins, we do all that stuff, but stuff still slides through the cracks, and
Yeah.
and it's I gotta put it on the parents, man. Got
Wow.
to, because they're just
That's
a
sad.
lot of parents do what's and I catch myself sometimes. I'm like looking at my son like, yo, you feel like going to school today? He's like, yes sir. I'm like, all right. You have those
Especially
moments,
with that
right?
commute. It's
Yeah,
that commute too. I'm in the same boat as
yeah.
you. My
Hmm.
kids are 40 minutes away. So I tell
Right.
people I
In
drive
traffic,
700
in
miles a week.
traffic. It's
700 miles a week. I go to Tennessee every week,
mm.
just in school commuting. Their last day, and I think
Did you go to
the
Tennessee?
most high is Wednesday. Let me explain to you how
Oh,
excited I am.
yep.
I,
The 13th for me. Yep.
I
Done.
told them today that because I drive straight down Pennsylvania Avenue. My kids go to school near Solomon's Island, and there's near water here.
Mm.
But I said, baby, I said goodbye to all the trees, all my landmarks that I
Mhm.
pass every day. I
Mhm.
said, I will see. My daughter was like, well, it's not really a bye-bye. It's just like a temporary, like, see you later, because in 2 months, I said, look, I don't want to talk about that.
No, let me enjoy the moment.
So I drive a hybrid car and I'm about to go electric just for the commuting
Yeah.
back and forth to school. So I know what you're saying. Some mornings I wake up, especially when it's raining, and I'm like, y'all feel good? Like, I don't.
Right.
You was coughing last night. Did you throw up? I mean, I'm being honest. However, what I remember, let me tell you what I remember in those moments. Because my father was, he was strict. My father will always tell me, I'm doing this for something greater than myself. And the moment I chose to be your father, I chose you. So
over self. Yep.
over self. He said, as sick as I may feel, as much as I don't want, I'm looking into your eyes. And that is what keeps me going. So if I got to get up and get ready, you're going to get up and get ready too.
Yes,
so get yourself together. So, you know, I know how you feel, and I feel for those children. Cause you know, one of the things I have a whole group of people in my life that are school teachers. And one of the things when COVID hit, my girlfriend said, you know, I'm sad. And I was like, you know, you get to work from home. You don't really get to do this. She said, no. She said, I work for DC and we feed children. And it's a lot of children that's not being fed right now.
Breadcoin fed a lot of kids. I'll tell you that during COVID. You got to look up breadcoin.org because they're out of DC. But look, we got 3 minutes. So we got 3 minutes. We'll obviously have you back on the show because you got to meet my sister. We'll definitely come down there and do some stuff with you. Absolutely. I love my sister, actress OC Flo.
Hey.
So look, y'all, DCIA. Y'all
Check
want some workforce training, get back in the workforce, level up, get some more money. DCIA, if you're a DC resident. Grass Life, get the CBD, gifted the THC at 1215 Connecticut Avenue in DC. Follow this young lady on OC Flowers on IG.
Yes.
I think we got everything. And any last words?
Well, if you follow me, you can DM me if you want to get more information about the Stomp the Runway for Autism. If you go into my profile, I believe I should have it pinned. And if I don't, I'm going to pin it for you now, where you can, that email address, Stomp the Runway for Autism, you can email. We have interest forms come out. And one of the great things we do, it's the last thing I'm going to say, is that we heavily invite those that are on the spectrum, because at the beginning of the show, we do a parade. And I like to shout out City of Gods. That's on West Pratt Street. My brothers down there, they are providing the clothes for this parade at the beginning of our Stomp the Runway, where kids on the spectrum can participate, and adults as well.
Would you like to have some ratchet neighborhood marching bands lead the way to your event? Let's go.
Hold on. Wait. Yeah. Why you gotta say ratchet though, champ?
Because we ain't calling Coppin State and Morgan and Bowie. We ain't calling the high schools out. We go straight to the hood for that's what I do for our marching bands. We get the Go Getters, Dynasty, Mass Destruction, Extravaganza, you name it. Yeah. I'm talking you see like a 2-year-old and a 102-year-old marching side by side in these marching units. It's the truth. We don't play.
That would be so
it would be. And that's what makes it, and that would just like stamp it with Baltimore, because nobody else has got a culture like that, like Baltimore does. We got our neighborhood marching bands. Yup.
Yeah, my wheels up.
I say ratchet because we ratchet. We do. The mayor tried to shut us down. So I'll send you the link. We took over to Inner Harbor last year for a back to school event. Mayor tried to shut us down. BPD tried to shut us down, even though BPD asked us to do the event. That's the type of stuff that happens in Baltimore. When they tried to shut us down, the mayor tried to bribe our bands. I'm saying it live, to go to his event instead of ours. That just made the bands wild out even louder. They said, "Chat, make the beers down to City Hall. Let's go." And I was like, "Let's go."
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Fight the power.
That's right. I'm telling you, they got us so hyped because of that. Like, they did it to themselves. But look, y'all, OC Flo, follow her on IG, get all the information. I'm going to be posting some of her flyers for the events coming up. We're going to connect and collaborate. You're going to see more of her, our new sister. Stay tuned for the Robert Report at 8 o'clock on blackusa.news. Thank you, guys. Love you, family.